Hello everybody, it's Vertical Sandwich. This is my third book review today. And what an odyssey it was to record this third one. But I really wanted to get out another book review. I felt that I had more than two in me today. It's a beautiful day. And so, this is the first one where we're not doing a Hugo Award winner. So this, right here, you got it? Right here? Just gonna focus on that. This is Ubik by Philip K. Dick. Now, this is the first time, and it will not be the last time that I'm going to say this. Uh, buy everything you can. Like, read everything you can by this author. Just go to Amazon, fill your cart with Philip K. Dick books, and just hit send. Just hit process order. Or go to the library and just use the search thing that they use instead of a card catalog now, because I'm old enough to remember card catalogs. Search for Philip K. Dick and just take everything home with you. Just take everything home with you, pile it up next to your bed, and do nothing but read Philip K. Dick. Philip K. Dick, masterful storyteller, masterful. Now, one of the things that I'm going to talk about with Philip K. Dick, well, in general, we're going to talk about Philip K. Dick as a Hugo Award winner for Man in the High Castle, which is a little different than a lot of the stuff he writes. But Ubik is one of those books that you should just read. It's just, there are books out there, especially in the science fiction genre. Like, you should read 1984. I shouldn't have to tell you that you need to read 1984. You should read 1984. Ubik is one of those books that you should read that you've probably never heard of, but it says one of Time Magazine's 100 best English language novels since 1923, I think was the limit. And yeah, I mean, it's sure. I think Watchmen was on that list, but this is it's amazing novel. So you'll notice I don't have a bookmark in here because I normally would read you a blurb. I'm gonna jump around. I'm just gonna like read you some blurbs because. So let's just read the back cover. Glenn Runsiter runs a lucrative business, deploying his teams of anti-psychics to corporate clients who want privacy and security from psychic spies. But when he and his top team are ambushed by a rival, he is gravely injured and placed in half-life, a dreamlike state of suspended animation. Soon, though, the surviving members of the team begin experiencing some strange phenomena, such as Runsiter's face appearing on coins, and the world seeming to move backwards in time. As consumables deteriorate and technology gets ever more primitive, the group needs to find out what is causing the shifts and what a mysterious product called Ubik has to do with it all. Okay, so that's what happens, right? There's this ambush, this guy is put into a state half-life where his consciousness is kept alive and they can still communicate with him, but then he starts appearing in places like on television and commercials for a product called Ubik. And here's the thing about Ubik. It's everything and it's nothing. It's the most important thing in the universe. If you end up in this reality, you need Ubik. Good luck. Every chapter starts with a commercial for Ubik, so we're going to just read some commercials for Ubik. Wild new Ubik salad dressing, not Italian, not French, but an entirely new and different taste treat that's waking up the world. Wake up to Ubik and be wild. Safe when taken as directed. Oh. Can't make the frog contest? Helen? Stomach's upset? I'll fix you, Ubik. Ubik drops you back in the thick of things fast. Taken as directed, Ubik speeds relief to head and stomach. Remember, Ubik is only seconds away. Avoid prolonged use. It's just, oh my god. Alright, let's try another one. My hair is so dry, so unmanageable. What's a girl to do? Simply rub in creamy Ubik hair conditioner. In just 5 days, you'll discover new body in your hair, new glossiness, and Ubik hairspray. Use as directed is absolutely safe. This is just like, and here's the thing, is first off, I wish I had a first edition copy of this book because the first edition, this was written in the 60s. The first edition has a very psychedelic looking hairspray or like spray bottle with Ubik like as the label, and it's great. Now, here's the thing about Philip K. Dick. First up, here's the thing about Ubik. Ubik is terrifying. Ubik is a terrifying book. And I'm not going to tell you what happens. Like, you need to find out what happens. You need to read this book and see what's going on with Ubik and time moving backwards. And in Ubik! Just Ubik! Um, like, Philip K. Dick, though. And this is what I really want to talk about. This isn't about Ubik, although Ubik, like Ubik and Man in the High Castle are masterworks. They're absolute masterworks. They're Dick at his finest. But here's the thing about Philip K. Dick. Read a bad Philip K. Dick novel. It's still great. Like, Philip K. Dick wrote Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? He wrote A Scanner Darkly. Like, a lot of Philip K. Dick stuff was, like, optioned for movies. He was involved, I believe, in the screenwriting of Blade Runner, which is based on Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. Blade Runner, one of the greatest science fiction movies ever made. And here's the thing, is I used to have an English professor who, when people said the movie is never good as the book, he would just look at them and go, Blade Runner. That was his answer to that. And I would argue that they're different. They're very different. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is great for completely different reasons than Blade Runner is great. They're both great. But read Flow of My Tears, the policeman said. Read The Solar Lottery. Read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. Read Ubik. Read The Man in the High Castle. Like, you're not going to go wrong with a Philip K. Dick book. Because here's the thing. Philip K. Dick is a great storyteller. That it doesn't matter if, like, I would consider, from what I've read of his, and I've read pretty much everything I can get my hands on, I actually think Flow of My Tears, the policeman said, is a weaker Philip K. Dick novel, but it's still a great read. I've read it twice. And I don't think it's one of his better novels. I've read Ubik twice as well. Philip K. Dick writes a novel that you feel you could have written. Like, he's not, it's not about dense narrative, it's not about abstract artistry, it's not about literature for the sake of literature. He is a straight, hardcore, writes science fiction for a living science fiction writer, but here's the thing, he's better at it than anybody. Like, nobody wrote science fiction novels, or science fiction stories, that are as entertaining and engaging as Philip K. Dick. And when they do other things, like, this is a haunting psychological thriller, and it does that amazing and questions the nature of reality and the difference between, you know, life and death and being, it does that unbelievably. And when you read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, it raises some very interesting questions about, you know, robots and things like that. I'm not going to spoil any of that for you. And when you read Man in the High Castle, you'll just go on a trip that is unbelievable. Man in the High Castle is an alternate history novel, which is just great. They made an Amazon series out of it, which is ridiculous that you could make a series out of what that book was really about. But I get it. We lost World War II, Amazon series. The Man in the High Castle is so much more than that. But yeah, so, like, that's the thing, is that, like, Philip K. Dick just gives you these ideas, and they're great ideas, and he hangs wonderful stories and characters on them, and you just go along for this ride, and when you're done, sometimes you're just like, well, that was a great story that I really enjoyed, and I can just leave it on the table. It's great. But when it's something like that's the difference between that, which was what Dick does a lot of the time, is he just gives you these great stories where you just go, wow, 5 Stigmata of Palmer Eldridge, sure, why not? And, you know, when you're done, you just go, I really enjoyed the trip I took with him. Ubik isn't that. Ubik is a book that you will wonder what was going on, you will think about it, and it will bother you. It is unsettling. It is an unsettling book it's beautifully unsettling. It's wonderfully, gorgeously haunting, and there's something amazing about it being 200 pages. Like, this is an 800-page book in 200 pages. This is the second most concise piece of writing I have ever read. The first being The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby is like 130 pages, and it's unbelievably dense. Like, there's so much packed into that book. This is second to that. This is, and it's Philip K. Dick at his finest, and that's the thing, is like I keep saying, and I cannot overemphasize, Philip K. Dick at his worst is better than most writing. And this is his best thing. I really love Man in the High Castle, and when we talk about Man in the High Castle, we'll talk about how much I love Philip K. Dick again. That's the refrain you're going to hear, though. Whenever I review a Philip K. Dick book, I'm just going to say, listen, here's the thing. Philip K. Dick books are, a bad Philip K. Dick book is better than a good, than a good anybody else, than most good anybody else books. So, yeah, Ubik. And buckle up. You will not feel good about the novel. I mean, like I said, it's tense. It is a tense novel that is unsettling, but it's such a wonderful story told in such a beautiful and surprising way. And just Ubik, but just the idea of like Ubik is like the ultimate MacGuffin or something. It's just great. It's just you spend the whole and that's the question in the novel, right? Where people are like, well, what is Ubik? And the answer is, I've already given you the answer. It is everything and it is nothing. This is the most important thing in the world, and it doesn't exist, and it exists, and Ubik is just, it's a symbol, and it's a product, and it's a thing. It's a hairspray, and it's a razor, and it's a shampoo, and it's a digestive aid. Like, it's the miracle medicine for everything that ails you. And just read this book. Just please, if I'm gonna quote the guy who was at the Kent State shooting, if you've never listened to anybody else in your entire life, please listen to me now. Read Ubik by Philip K. Dick. Read this book. I said in the last review that if you came and broke into my house, you could take my copy of the book. If you broke into my house and stole my copy of Ubik, I'd get it. I'd be like, I understand why you would break into a guy's house for that book. I can't say good enough things about this. Which, by the way, this is what a glowing review looks like. If I ever talk to you about The Great Gatsby, you're going to get a review like this. If I talk to you about 1984, you're going to get a review like this. Because here's the thing. Hugo Award winners aside, and here's the thing about Hugo Award winners, or award winners in general, or lists of great books. If you list the top 100 great books, there's a top 10 in there, and a top 5, and a top 3. And some books, like there are great science fiction books, and then there are like science fiction masterpieces, and then there are books that just are beyond that. There are books that are just, this is a masterpiece outside of science fiction. Like Time magazine is right. This is one of the top 100 books written in the English language in the last 100 years. And that's enormous, right? Like that's a huge thing, that if you're looking at things like, what do I need to understand literature and to like really wrap my head around the English-speaking culture that I live in? What am I doing? Ubik is a thing that you need, Like 1984 is a thing you need. The Great Gatsby is a thing that you need. If books are a thing that are important to you, some books are undeniable, and this is an undeniable book. That if you look at it and go like, oh, his review of Berayer sounded good, I think I'll read that, but I'm not going to have time to read Philip K. Dick's book. No, Berayer is okay. When we get to Berayer is fine. It's a fine novel. But this is a statement. This is just an amazing thing. This is a thing that takes your breath away. And that's the thing. I'm like a narcissist about literature. Like, if I read a book and just go, never in a million years could I be that good. Never in a million years could I, if you just gave me a typewriter and an alternate reality where I live forever, I could never write this. Like, it's just inspired. It's like this was directly transmitted by hyper-intelligent aliens directly into Philip K. Dick's head so that you could read it. And you should. We should all read this book. I might read it again because of this incredibly glowing, kind of manic review about how good Ubik is. So, yes, like Ubik. Just Ubik. I'm going to read you one more Ubik commercial to close this out. I don't want to read the one off the last chapter. That might have some sort of thing in it. Could it be that I have bad breath, Tom? Well, Ed, if you're worried about that, try today's new Ubik. With powerful germicidal foaming action, guaranteed safe when taken as directed. Take Ubik. Get Ubik. Thank you for watching. This book is available anywhere fine books are sold. You should just buy this, please, 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 just please, Ubik, please. Thank you for watching. Bye, everybody.